calendars I already had, upcoming events and, things like that, on my phone and the laptop. But I thought, oh, I didn't put tech time, and there's a place where you can have how many times you repeat it. So I said every week at
Forever.
Thursday,
Forever.
and it automatically popped up for all the weeks ahead. And I said, this is really helpful.
It is.
There you go.
I'm getting there.
Yeah.
Not letting go of the paper completely yet, but I'm
You're
coming.
getting there.
It's a gradual transition. I didn't do it overnight either, so.
You can use the same feature for birthdays and set it up to repeat it every year.
Yeah,
Yes, I did that. Yeah,
there you go.
fantastic.
And
What I-
monthly
what I
meetings.
Yeah, what I found out about the online calendar is that it takes everything out of my address book, contacts. And there are people that have been long dead, but they still happen to be in my contacts because I haven't, and their birthdays keep popping up on my calendar. It's like, the only way to delete them is to delete them from my contacts, I guess.
Well, Jerry and I were playing with that yesterday because he had the same issue, somebody that he didn't want to see on his birthday. We removed the birthday on the contact information, thinking that would get rid of it, but that did not get rid of it. And so I was going to go home last night and deep dive, and I didn't.
Well,
look at
if you
it
get an
once I
answer
got
to it, because I haven't bothered to try, it's just annoying to see all these things pop up on my calendar.
I understand.
Or it's their 23rd birthday and they're 75 years old.
They wouldn't mind.
Is it the Facebook integration? Because you can also link your Facebook friends,
I don't use Facebook,
right?
essentially. I have a Facebook account, but essentially I don't use it.
But you'd never linked up the calendar, say.
Not that I
Like-
know of.
Normally, if it's somebody it says the age of the person for me. I know that's from Facebook because I don't put people's birth,
Oh.
years in.
I don't put people's birthdays in my contacts either, so. Oh, well,
Sorry to get us off track there, but I just.
yeah, right.
No, it's
I knew
good.
that Betty Ann needed that information,
Yes.
It's
Thank
good
you
to
very much,
follow up.
Chuck.
Yeah.
Yep. Any other tips from last week before we deep dive into new issues? Okay. Any other?
I spoke
Mhm.
to a friend who spoke to Dan.
How's Dan?
He's getting better. He spoke to Patty as well, who says he's not getting as better as he thinks he is. They're struggling to establish new routines.
Mm,
So they need your prayer, as Lynn pointed out in her blurb this morning.
Yeah. Not an easy situation
No.
at all. But maybe we can have Patty pop him on sometime if he's feeling up for it. Karen, are you trying to say something in your mouth and you're muted?
oops.
Nothing like joining Zoom on another meeting. If you touch the phone or tablet you're on, it should show extra features.
Thank you. Thank you. Got it.
Uh,
Sorry.
No worries.
No, it would be nice if we could, if Dan could pop on, that we could say hi to him. I miss him.
Mm-hmm. I think everyone does.
Yeah. So when I went to log on to my laptop this morning, it said Microsoft Edge is not responding. So I gave up.
Yay! Oh, no.
Microsoft Edge, do you have any other browsers you use?
Well, Paul put Chrome on, but I didn't try that. But I have an appointment tomorrow with Computer Doctor to drop my laptop off so they can diagnostic it and tell me what's wrong. But I'm already thinking that I'm going to have to get a new laptop because this October it'll be 6 years old.
Mm-hmm. Was there any improvement when we tried to speed it up a couple months ago? No.
No, no, no. It's slow as molasses and I can't use it anywhere except next to the router. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to kick my husband out off his desk and his computer every time I want to use mine. So
Sure, that goes over big.
Yeah.
Stephen, but he's very understanding because he knows I'm having trouble with it. So
That's kind.
So
But
you never tried getting a network access dongle?
no,
Oh, okay.
hopefully they'll have some answers for you. But
I have a feeling they're just going to say, get a new one.
Mm,
yeah, it might cost efficient wise be better spent to pay the money for a new
And
one.
I'm hoping they tell me that. And I think they will. I've used them before and they're very good.
Good.
Yeah.
Glad you're happy with them.
They don't sell computers, do they?
No, not that I'm aware of.
Good, because places that sell a computer, in addition to diagnosing them, are going to be more
you need
inclined
one.
to tell you to buy a new one.
Yeah. No, I'm pretty sure that these guys don't sell them.
I discovered something this week. I was looking on Amazon and all of a sudden I had a place where I could pick up my order instead of having it delivered to Mariscove, which is stupid because they bring 100 packages here every day. And I accidentally ordered it that way and got an email saying, your package is ready to be picked up at I break it, you break it, I fix it, or whatever it's called. So I had my first experience of going there. Of course, they couldn't get into the computer without calling someone to get the password because it changes all the time. But now I know where it is, right next to the defunct AAA store.
Interesting.
So you can pick up packages that you break, I fix. If you live out in the country.
That's interesting. I knew you could do it in like Walmarts and things like that, and they have lockers like.
You can do it at Staples in Concordville as well, which is right across the street from us, but which would be convenient, but they literally come in and deliver it to the outside door of our apartment. I mean, we don't even have to go down the front desk to get the packages. They're right next to our door. And they take a photograph of our door and the packages. So, yeah.
That's a nice service, Connie.
It's a very nice service. Erickson, all the Erickson built, communities were the pilot for Amazon for doing that at retirement places. So others may have it too at this point.
Wow. That's nice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. But yeah, let us know if you need us or you want to look at computer, ideas or recommendations. I'm assuming you'll stick with the PCs,
I would like to, yeah.
but I don't know if you want what you currently have or.
I have a Dell, which
Mhm.
I've been happy with up till this point.
Yep.
because I don't really use it except to get my email.
And Zoom.
Yes, yes.
I have a semi-tech
that's the-
question. Oh, go ahead, Steve.
If that's the case, couldn't you are you using a phone or a tablet right now?
A phone.
Oh, okay. If all you do with it is email and Zoom, you might get away with a tablet instead of buying a PC.
Would that store my photos also?
Yes,
And I can do files for meeting notes and stuff?
um,
With Microsoft, with,
If you get a Surface tablet, you
Yeah.
can install the Microsoft Suite, like Office, PowerPoint, all that stuff. It's just a smaller device, smaller screen. So unless you want a big screen to look at, but you could also get a docking station, which is what our staff now has at the church, where it connects your tablet to a monitor, like your desktop monitor. So when you're at home at your desk, you can use the monitor and keyboard and mouse, but it, is this little portable thing that you then could take to church or, on vacation, and it's a little smaller and easier to carry around.
Mm.
The issue of storing files, I always thought that was a shortcoming on the iPads. I find the file, I mean, it's because I go back to more traditional computer files, but I found the file system on and I'm using a Dell, on the the Dell or the the IBM type computers is easier
Mm-hmm.
to use.
I agree. The storage, I don't like going to the file storage for the iPads, but I think they're going to start heading that way in the future, but we'll see.
my question was gonna be, what does a computer do that I need that an iPad does not do? My iPad is now at least 7 years old and I can't upgrade it or anything like that. So it still does a lot of stuff, and Bill is resisting buying a new one because he can still do the things he needs. And if he can't, he comes to my computer. And I don't want to buy another computer.
Mhm.
I'd love to get a new iPad, but I'm thinking, why the heck do I have a computer in the first place? What do I need it for?
Yeah, it's more viewing than anything else. You like the look of a laptop better. But
But I'm on a
Apple-
MacBook. I'm on a MacBook Air. I'm not on a big computer, so the
Right.
screen isn't any bigger or smaller than the bigger iPad.
right, it's just if you like the desktop layout versus the app layout, right? Like Bill's saying, it's a little weird, using an iPad just as your whole world, because like storing files, like documents, say you'd have to go to the file app. It's not like you have the Finder that's a little bit easier to view and organize. But there are a vast majority of people, my best friend included, that does not have a laptop. All she has is an iPad, and she hooks it up with a monitor and keyboard to do, long papers and things like that.
Right.
I use my laptop for Quicken a lot. It's probably the number one application I have it for, but I just pack around with my iPad all day long, getting mail and
Mm-hmm.
communicating with folks and stuff. It's just it's so convenient. I mean,
Mm-hmm. I definitely like the monitor functionality where you can make it a little bit bigger, especially typing wise. And maybe it's because I have one hand versus the two, that you guys probably can type faster. But yeah, there's
Lynn.
really, like, storage wise, there's really no reason you need a laptop at this point. Schools are even doing that for kids,
Right.
So they're giving them iPads instead of, or Chromebooks instead of,
Yeah, they're using Chromebooks a lot.
it depends on the school district, but yeah. So you're seeing that more and more, and it's, I think, where it's going to be heading, unless you're doing really powerful stuff. But even like QuickBooks, I think there's an app you could do on your iPad with, log into your account. I could be wrong, but it probably will again look different, and pretty much every application at this point has a app for both PC and tablet device or iPads and things like that. Almost.
True, but they don't all have it. You know, I have the new M1 chip, and it's supposed to be quote unquote just like the iPad. It's not at all. And there are very few apps that you can actually download.
On the M1 chip laptop?
Yeah, they haven't, well, the companies who make the apps have not figured out-
Migrated.
they haven't done it to migrate over to that. So yeah, it's very limited. So I just go on, so like Google Maps, I have to go to Google. I can't get Google, and by the way, I can't get Google Maps on whatever I'm using, that guy with the bear. You know.
Oh, the Brave?
Brave, yeah, right. I can't get Google Maps on Brave, so I just go to Chrome. But
Oh,
but
that's
I have to
interesting.
sign into Chrome.com. You know, I have to sign into Google Maps. I can't just look at an app and go to it like I can on my phone or my iPad.
Mhm. That's interesting because it's a browser, so it shouldn't be an issue to do it on any, as long as you can do it on like Safari or Chrome.
I
it
have
should
to
be-
go to google.com probably and then do it. Whereas
could
when I go
bookmark
to
it.
Chrome, I'm automatically on Google, so it's one more step. Yeah.
Yes, Karen.
Why all of a sudden I couldn't hear you or Connie, so then I tapped the phone to make sure I hadn't lost audio, but now it's really, I can hardly hear you.
Did
Isn't that
you
weird?
turn down the volume?
No,
Accidentally.
I checked that. It's all the way up. That's weird.
I don't know. Speed test?
On a phone?
On my phone,
I don't know. How many bars do you have?
I don't see any bars, but I'm plugged into my charger.
For like your cell service,
Yes,
no bars?
I don't see any up there.
Wonder if
But-
you're in a dead spot.
No, it just says Zoom. It just says Zoom. Ah,
Maybe if you came out of the jungle, I see the vines coming.
that's my vase with my flowers. Sorry. Tell me the difference between a tablet and an iPad.
So an iPad is a tablet. It is, any tablet is, pretty much a portable device that's, square, like with no keyboard. So Apple makes iPads as their tablet. Microsoft makes Surface as their tablet. So, and I think there might be a Google version too, or maybe they just do Surfaces. But
Oh, there are all kinds of tablets. That
yeah,
are-
and Kindles I think
Amazon
can
have
be
'em.
considered
Yeah.
tablets.
Kindle
Kindle
makes
Fire.
the Fire,
Yeah.
which has its own browser.
So if I
Mhm.
would get an iPad,
Mhm.
because you told me that I could see it better at a docking station and use a keyboard.
Mhm.
Could I do that with my husband's computer and his keyboard?
Currently, yes.
Okay,
Yeah, if you want to get 30 or 40-inch monitor for your old desktop computer, right? And keyboard, and you can plug that all in a docking station, and then you just plug in his computer with the charging port, and it should sync everything on, but also charge his laptop at the same time. But you should also be able to do that with an iPad or a Surface tablet if you wanted to do that.
And the Surface has its own keyboard that you can buy separately.
Mhm. You can get a case that has the snap keyboard with it,
Yeah.
which is what Pastor Don had. I think Jerry has one too. They also come with styluses. So if you kind of like the Apple Pencil. So if you want to take notes by hand on it, you can. But the difference with if you decide to get an iPad as your tablet device, and only that, it's going to look like your iPhone. You're not going to have the Microsoft desktop that you're used to. It would just be, which is one of what Bill was talking about. It's a little more, it's just a different user face.
Okay.
But yeah, you can get storage and RAM for Surfaces at this point, pretty much the same as your laptop. So,
have pretty much the same cloud options too for offline storage. So that's not a whole lot different from one device to the other.
yeah, that is true. And the other perk about doing a docking station, say, you wouldn't, if you get a new computer or laptop, you could keep the monitor and docking station, keyboard and mouse, and continue to use that, you know, even later. Or if you want to switch your your laptop with your spouse's laptop, and you can share the same docking station, but whoever, you know, is wanting that at the office space, you can do that too. Pros and cons. Chuck, what's your question?
What do you know about the new Apple Air? Oh, what? I just lost it.
MacBook or
No.
tablet?
iPad Air,
No.
AirPods.
No. Give me a
Air
minute. I'll
tracking
find it.
devices? The tracking?
Let the man think.
I just thought of it, and then it went away. You know.
I hate that. That's the worst.
Happens to us all the time. Don't worry about it.
Hell yeah.
It'll come.
Um,
Stop trying.
someone told me Wednesday, they're like, I was thinking of you. I thought of a question for you when I was in the bathroom. I'm like, I don't really want you to like bring up the thoughts of me while you're using the bathroom. But they're like, we can't remember now. I'm like, well, I guess you have to go back to the bathroom, but I'll go back to it.
While
Oh, I
we're
got
waiting for him to think.
So he's got it. Write it down, Chuck.
Oh, yes, write it down. No, go.
AirTags.
Oh, for luggage?
Yeah,
mean-
or your pet or whatever.
Oh,
Yeah. I have not used them. I've not purchased them, so I cannot speak from personal knowledge. One of our AV volunteers, Dirk, if you know Dirk, was in the church this week, and he actually just bought some for his trip to Canada. He was worried that, you know, his luggage would get lost and wanted to see, you know, if it did. be able to track it. And he said that it sends him notifications on that a lot. So he was going to like stop the notifications because, you know, during, you know, the normal time, you don't need to know where your luggage is
Right.
before you travel. But seemed happy with it. He'll be able to speak better once he goes on the trip, you know. But
Yeah, my wife saw something about it, I think on TV on Good Morning America or something. I don't know what it was, but she asked me if I knew anything about it. And I honestly hadn't even heard of them. So I had to do a little looking myself, but I just wondered if you knew of anybody that has used them, and are they worth they're like what, $30 a piece, I think.
There are other companies that make similar products. They are kind of like taking the other people's ideas. Tile is one that was around before. I think it's a little cheaper, but it's another Bluetooth, you know, tracking type device that is helpful. So there's other models out there. The only reason you do Apple, I think Apple's a little more expensive. It's probably, you know, more reliable because they do things well. And it would be synchronized with your Find My Phone, Find My AirPods type, if you're familiar with finding your laptops or.
I'm familiar with it. I've never really used it. How does it work beyond Bluetooth range?
So I've used
Bluetooth is local. I mean, small.
Right. I think there actually might be a cellular chip in it type thing. I could be wrong. I've used it to try to find my AirPods. When I've lost it, there was one time that I left them in the sanctuary and I couldn't find them.
Jeez.
And
Which
so I
pew
had
was
the
in?
I had the Frost twins crawling under all the pews for me. But it was one of those, like, it told me it was in the sanctuary, but I didn't know exactly where in the sanctuary it was. The challenge was I had one missing. So it didn't tell me, you know, where the two different ones was. It was just telling me where, you know, the one was, which was the one I actually had. So it was not so helpful, but AirPods are unique because of that particular reason. But it was pretty accurate. So
But once again, you were looking at a local situation.
in a local
and Bluetooth
spot.
would work. Yeah, but I mean, if your luggage is in North Carolina and you're in Philadelphia, how does Bluetooth work, like, you know, with that to find it?
I'm guessing there's a chip or something, not necessarily Bluetooth. I haven't done the research to how the technology works.
I was hoping you had.
I can Google now. But Dirk will be able to speak to it, you know, in a week or two.
Okay.
But yeah, putting it on your key rings and things like that would be okay. They're $30,
Yeah.
which is not as bad as I
saw they sell a pack of 4 of them.
Oh, that's cool.
I guess if you're going on a trip, that would be handy.
It looks like they're only compatible with iPhone 11 and up.
Okay. That's not a problem.
It sends out a secure Bluetooth signal that can be detected by nearby devices. It is anonymous and encrypted to protect your privacy and is efficient, so there's no need to worry about battery life or data usage.
Oh.
Just like other Apple devices, AirTags can be put into loss mode. Then when it's detected in a device in a network, you'll automatically get a notification. You can also set it to so somebody can get your contact info by tapping your AirTag with a NFC compatible smartphone. That is the same technology that lets people pay for things with their phones.
To answer your question, Chuck, the range on AirTags is functionally infinite as long as there's someone with an iPhone nearby.
Ooh,
So it sounds like Apple's taking advantage of the network of iPhones to transmit the AirTags location to your iPhone.
So it's bouncing it from one iPhone to another?
It sounds like it. That's
So-
what I'm inferring from.
That's how I understand it too. It's like encrypted through the Apple network.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I'm
so
I'm
the
suspicious.
issue-
I'm just thinking, what could possibly go wrong with that?
Yeah,
I worry, you know?
My issue would be, if you drop it, in Rocky Mountains National Park and, and it rolls down the hill and is not on a hike, nobody's going to be around there. But it is nice. You can make play sound. So, if you're in the area, you can hear the noise going, so you can find it, which is handy for, say, keys or something.
or for your dog.
AirTags is designed to discourage unwanted tracking. If somebody else's AirTags finds its way into your stuff, your iPhone will notice it's traveling with you and send you an alert. After a while, if you still haven't found it, the AirTags will start playing sound to let you know it's there.
Mhm.
Of course, if it happens to be with your friend who has an AirTag on a train, a whole bunch of people with AirTags, don't worry, these alerts are triggered only when AirTag is separated from its owner.
Interesting.
Mhm.
I guess there's some sort of initialization that identifies the AirTag as belonging to your Apple device.
Mhm.
I would hope so.
Yep. They're also water resistant. Doesn't say how much, like if it got stuck in a hurricane or something, but
Does Apple use MAC addresses?
maybe, I'm not sure off the top of my head.
Oh, okay, because every PC oriented device, every PC device, a keyboard, a mouse, everything has a unique MAC address. I'm wondering if Apple uses the same technology or has something that mimics that so that your iPhone would know what tags were yours.
It would make sense that they do that. It sounds like something they would do. And the battery lasts about a year.
Nice.
Does that mean you can replace it or you have to buy a new one?
You can replace it. I'm guessing it's like one of those little circle.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Battery.
watch
they're
battery
not
or
very
a
big to
hearing
begin
aid
with.
battery.
The one disadvantage is there's no hole in it for a lanyard or, and I was thinking of connecting it to a cat we have that wanders off, but I'd have to glue it to his backside or something.
Well, if that's the case, how could you use it? How could you put it on your dog's collar and track him if he gets lost?
Yeah, you'd have to put it on a collar, I'm guessing. I bet you anything they make, well, not necessarily Apple, but I'm sure they make collars or things
Of
to
course they do.
track your pets.
That was from
I'm
PC
sure there's a
Magazine.
device.
Mhm.
I'm seeing pictures
Somebody will have
of them
filled that
attached
need.
to a key ring.
13 best pet trackers to monitor your pet's location.
There you go. 13.
Track Active, it's a collar. but what is it? I can't tell. It looks like there's a whistle, but I don't know how a whistle would work. Um, I don't know. They make everything. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
All right. Well, I'll keep.
I'm sure it will just keep getting better. But it's amazing. A little scary.
Yes, very scary, actually. Bill was reading a big article this morning about artificial intelligence, and that is truly scaring. There's a
Mhm.
company in San Francisco that you can say, I'd like a picture of a cow jumping over the moon, and before you know it, there's a picture of a cow jumping over the moon.
Yeah.
I mean,
Mhm.
like other technology, it can be used for good, but it can also be used for bad. And I don't think that developers think about all the downsides. They only think about the upside, making a lot of money.
They just want to see if they can do it, right?
Yeah,
And
but
be
yeah,
the first.
right.
Yeah, it is getting more and more like Black Mirror. I don't know if you guys ever saw that TV show, but
Wow.
it's interesting.
Mm.
Yeah,
Um,
it says simply attach it to your pet. I don't know how you attach it to your pet.
Glue, maybe?
is it like a horseshoe where you could like stick it on their paw?
No, it's a little round. They're about an inch in diameter.
Yeah.
Looks a little bigger than that to me.
Stick it in their ear, like how we're all scared of chips in our brains.
There was a picture of one inside a little, looks like a leather holder that had a connection
Hoop on
thing
it, yeah.
like an extra device you have to buy for pets or luggage.
Well, our dog already has a microchip buried in his neck somewhere, so
Yeah.
I'm not as worried about using it with him or anything, but I was just wondering if they were as good as they sounded, or is this just another
Mm-hmm.
hype that they want people to buy?
Mm-hmm.
That's a good point, though. With that chip already embedded in your pet, there's not a device, a home kind of device that you could use to follow them using that chip.
No,
I mean, the vets have one in their office, but it's only for reading, not for tracking.
well, the company that makes them can track them wherever they are, but you'd have to contact the company that made the chip and that the chip is registered with.
Mhm.
But that's
It's
Mm-hmm.
surprising someone hasn't made a home tracking software or app or something
Yeah.
to use. I mean, that seems like a ready to go kind of application.
They
it's coming.
do nanny cams for pets, for you to be able to remote in, like you could for like baby monitors. And there's like food dispensing machines that you can set during the day that can take an image of your pet when they, are eating. So you're aware of that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
And there's like the ball retriever thing where it can throw a ball and the dog can return it. That also has a camera on it.
My
But they
dog
also
has
make
never
bird
returned
feeders
it.
that, take a photo of every bird that eats at your bird feeder. So,
Oh, gee.
Goes up
It-
and shuts
Diehard,
down the
yeah.
feeder.
mhm. So yeah. The question is, how much information do you want to collect on your pet while you're not in home? Or if you use there's a service that you can hire people to walk your dog in the middle of the day. And you can track your dog walker if they're walking your dog.
Mm.
But That's, I think, more for like city life, you know. But yeah. Technology. Yep. Anyway, welcome, Mr. Bob Young. How are any tech questions you have for us? Oh, I think you're muted.
Why, thank you. I I was getting a note from you that I be in other times, other weeks that it was a complicated thing, and I didn't know. But today I found I was out till right recently, and I'm glad to see all your faces and say hello. But I use, yes. I don't have any great questions to ask.
Good. Glad. Thought we'd check, make sure.
Glad, thank you. I'm
Dr.
still,
Young, how's that project going to preserve your late wife's art?
say again.
How is the project going to preserve your late wife's art?
Oh. I am not aware of anything happening there. Yeah, I guess I don't know. I can't answer that, Steve.
Huh.
Ashley took a lot of the paintings, didn't she?
Yes, I think maybe. Yes, she did do that. And I don't know if she's working on anything to bring it all together in one album or not. I better ask her.
Good. Good.
It's
It's good to see you.
Thank you. We've been on sort of a lockdown now. Whenever there are about 9 or so cases of COVID, then they close the dining room, and we just came out of a period yesterday. And
That's a shame.
back to normal.
How many residents are there where you live?
I really don't know. There are 3 floors, and each floor has 66 apartments.
Okay.
So, but
100
I don't know
apartments,
how many
so,
are
yeah.
filled. They haven't had a town meeting in quite a while, when the manager speaks and usually tells any information, how many vacant places and so forth.
Yeah.
We're pretty full.
So did you have to shut down the live stream service on Sunday then?
I did not shut that down, no.
That's nice.
One
Nice
of
to
the residents is a Lutheran man. I don't, he seems to enjoy doing the streaming, and Will Heeb, H-E-E-B. And but he's gone away for a couple of weeks, so I'll begin again this Sunday. I don't know who last week brought the sticky buns, but maybe it was Barbara Drain, who I think lives nearby. But I saw 2 nice trays of sticky buns.
Oh, lucky you.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
And, well, I didn't take them for myself. We distributed them as best we could, and they were much appreciated.
Oh, I'm
Good.
sure.
Good.
Nice of
Bob.
them to think of you.
Yeah.
It was. I was pleased.
I think they make enough to feed an army on those Sunday mornings. And there was an army and a half, I think, in Spelman Hall that day. It was a large turnout, but they must have had oodles of sticky buns for everybody.
Ah,
Think-
Sometimes there aren't enough for the contemporary service, unfortunately.
Oh,
Really? There was a lot of people taking leftovers at
I
the end.
said
of the service.
I said sometimes.
Sometimes.
All right.
It's really hard because especially now, it's hard to plan for how many people are
Right.
going to actually come
Yeah.
to the building.
Mhm.
But Karen, I think you were going to say something and we cut you off.
I was just gonna say the deacons distributed the extra ones.
Oh, good.
Nice.
Nice. Uh-huh.
You got some good deacons.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Other issues, concerns? Connie, did you get the line worked out? Was Bill's phone misbehaving? Was he the
No,
culprit?
because I haven't needed to, I haven't needed to call or text him. I mean, most times we're out walking together or whatever, so no, I haven't.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You only get that pop-up when you call him?
it seems to only be when I call him, so it probably has to do with the fact that we're both on the same wavelength, so to speak.
Mhm.
And it's not a big deal, you can call anyway, so I've ignored it. Well, I still haven't had chance to get down to make an appointment at Genius Bar down in Delaware to get my photo things sorted out, if they can do that, so. Someday.
And all your free time when your back's feeling better.
Yeah, but we're gonna be gone for 5 weeks, so that'll take up till the middle of October.
Where are you going?
Do you really want to know our itinerary? We go from here to Kansas City for our son's birthday. And then to Denver to see another son. And then to Tucson to see Bill's sister, whom we haven't seen for 3 years, and she's older than he is. And then to our old haunting grounds of Burlingame, California. And then up to Seattle to visit our youngest son. And we're driving all this because we no way were we gonna risk flying, and not to mention the airplane chaos. And then since we're all the way up in Seattle, the current plan is to go up to Vancouver and then across to Calgary and Lake Banff, Banff and Lake Louise and all that, and come back down and then shoot down to the US again to Minneapolis and come back.
Nice.
that'll make your back feel really good.
Well, we have a Toyota Sienna, and Bill says that is the most comfortable chair he's been sitting in, because he wrenched his back trying to pick me up, so, yeah. We're both recovering.
Connie,
Yeah, I know, we're both recovering, but.
hope you can get a heating pad that charges in the USB port for you.
There you go.
Oh, that's a riot. Well, we can also use Bengay, all the, extra strength that doesn't have any smell to it, which is what we use if we really need to.
I'd see if you could get a heating pad. Just in case. Just
I
in
think
case.
I'm more
That
concerned
sounds like a great
about-
idea.
about tech things and what's gonna work and what's not gonna work, and
I'm sure they sell such a thing for truckers.
Mm-hmm.
oh, they
Mhm.
probably do, but
But
Speaking
who
of
wants
trucks,
to fight over that? Get two of them.
no, we'll be fine.
Right.
Well, we do have 2 USB things in our car. We actually have 3, so.
and then you could charge a phone too.
Yeah,
It's a
right.
point.
I know, it's 100 cords. The one thing I can't charge is my computer in the car, because it's a USB-C as opposed to a B. And
Well,
the
you
little-
could get a
plug in.
USB to USB-C cable.
Yeah.
Well, I do have one of those, actually. I do have a
Then you're
little one.
good to
That's a
go.
good idea. But I don't need to use my computer in the car either, unless I'm having to zoom into session on the road. Which is-
Connie, it might be because my father and brother are both Eagle Scouts, but I'm always be prepared, always,
My husband is an Eagle Scout as well, then.
bring those cables, bring your laptop, get the heating pads.
I bring
bring
my
the
laptop,
beds.
I bring my iPad, I bring my phone and all the cables and all the chargers and all that every time we go anywhere. Yeah.
I don't want you to be miserable on this long journey
We
across
will
the
not be
country.
miserable. We tend to usually stop at rest stops and make our own lunches sort of thing. And that works for a couple of days. You can take sandwiches and do that. And the other day I woke up and I said, we don't have to eat sandwiches for lunch. We can have peanut butter and crackers or cheese and crackers. But we have to stop because we have to use the restrooms and get gas and do things like that, but we don't have to spend a lot of time doing that.
My sister and her husband took, I think it was about a 5 or 6 week tour of the country last year. They wanted to get his 50th state down. He had been in every state, but I think it was South Dakota, but they had to eventually come to my daughter's wedding out in Michigan and then go home. But what they found, because they were gone so long and they were eating all these meals, they said, you know what, as we're going to restaurants, we found out 2 things that we enjoyed doing. One, instead of sitting at a table, they liked to sit, if there was a bar area, and eat up there because they like to talk to the locals. They got to
Right.
meet a Native American artist,
Mhm.
and he showed them some of his work. I mean, that was interesting. And they also learned that they were just as satisfied eating 1 or 2 appetizers than a meal.
Right.
It
Or
was-
splitting a meal.
Yes,
a meal.
exactly. Because you
Oh,
don't
yeah,
want to, you don't want to bring leftovers after a meal. And I never go out to eat without bringing leftovers. You don't want to do that on a 5-week trip.
Right. No.
Yeah.
Yep. So when do you leave for that, Connie?
September 17th.
Nice.
So I will miss the meeting on the 20th. It's our son's, I'm not as old as you're gonna make me when I tell you this. It's my oldest son's 60th birthday. I was 10 when he was born. Actually, I was 19 by 2 days, so I was still young.
Wow.
Most people always, when I tell people how old my kids were, they always made me older than I was because they assumed I was at least 22 or something. No. Yeah,
Yep. No, that's exciting.
yeah,
Enjoy.
it will be. We just, and we're both getting better, so I'm not concerned about that. And because we're living out of a car, we don't have to have heavy suitcases to lug anywhere.
Hmm. Nice.
And I can zoom in for
Finley.
some time.
Karen Finley, I see you with a jacket on. Are you in good health or?
Yes, the air conditioning's just cool today.
Uh-huh.
A good problem.
Yeah.
Mm.
Better to be cool than hot. Yes.
My wife likes to say you can always put more clothes on, but at some point you're no longer decent and it's too hot.
Yep, that's my challenge.
Hmm.
Any other things you'd like to talk about before we head out for the week?
Karen, if you're gonna go computer shopping or tablet shopping, I would make a list of the things that you do with your current machine to help somebody help you decide what to buy.
Yeah, good idea.
Thank you, Steve. That's a good idea.
I would also look on your storage and see how much storage you're using on your current computer. Like, so you could go to the memory in the control panel and it will tell you you're using, 100 gigs on your laptop. So you'd want to make sure you have at least that, if not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And if you are having speed problems, you'll want to double the amount of memory in your machine for your next machine.
Okay.
I would think you'd at least want to have 16 gigabytes of RAM, if not
Okay.
more.
Wow. I would have said 8.
I see if she's going to keep it for 16 years and they're going to continue to give software updates, it's only going to slow it down.
True.
I'm not gonna continue for that long when they're gonna come out. Trust me.
But you're doing simple things, so you're not
Thank you.
doing things like me.
Right.
Yes,
Yeah.
3 monitors with 12 apps open at the same time.
Where my memory is 64 gigs,
Really?
Wow.
Wow.
Final Cut, it slows the computer down.
Mm. Wow.
The amount of video editing I was doing in the pandemic, it was a good thing.
Mm.
Can you do anything for memory when you're 94?
For human memory, right?
Pretty soon you'll be able to add a chip to your brain.
That'd be very nice.
I was
had-
just reading something in the news this week about putting electrodes on your head, and it would if you send a little they send a little energy. There's a couple doctors, they did a study that it helps stimulate the brain cells to help keep the electrodes going to help with the memory issues for a certain group of people. So I mean, it's not readily available to everyone yet. They're still in the trial mode, but it seemed promising. So probably not helpful at the moment for you, but it might be coming in the next few years.
Okay.
So instead
Soon
of a
comes fast.
pacemaker, instead of a pacemaker sending electricity to your heart, you'd have a pacemaker sending electricity to your brain.
There you go.
Or you have two different devices sending a lot of electricity.
And then somebody will invent something to carry all the stuff in it and give you a vest with all your little pockets. For your-
I want a hard drive for my memories.
Yeah.
As a Harry Potter fan, I don't know how familiar you are with the Harry Potter series, but there's a pensive where you can leave your memories in this bowl and you can go back to and revisit. I want that.
Right, that would be good.
I was
Oh.
very interested last Sunday in listening to listening to Leah
Mhm.
mentioning that she had didn't she mention she had been on the staff with some man at Second Presbyterian in Indianapolis, I think.
Right.
Mhm.
And the pastor of that church, and when I was pastor at Westminster, we had a fellowship of pastors of that size church all over the country. And it was interesting. I didn't remember she had come from that particular church. And well, this is apropos of nothing. I tried to think of who was pastor, part of that fellowship, and I couldn't think of it at all. And then getting up this morning,
There it
the
was.
name Bill Enright came to mind. And yeah, that was who. I have no reason to know that name or any further. I don't know where he's living or what. But
Mhm.
interesting how memory does work and how it doesn't work.
Mhm.
And doesn't work more often.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, it's amazing how things can come to you at the randomest of times.
Yeah.
But it's a small world. That I wonder if she worked with him or if it was before her time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I could ask her.
She
I
was
guess
one of
we'll have
those
to ask her.
fellows that they had there for what, a year or two, and they rotate through all the different members of the
Yes,
staff
yes.
to learn everything. Yeah.
I think so.
It sounds like a good opportunity type thing for
Yeah.
seminarians.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's exciting.
Well,
Nice
then
to
I gotta
see.
say goodbye and go get our meal menus so we can order our dinner. It's very important, you know, food is the most important thing around here.
You got it.
Bob can, Bob can appreciate that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Where are you, Connie? And
I'm at Marist Grove, and that was the reason about when you were saying that you would close down the dining room with 7 or 8 cases of COVID, because we have 11 at the moment, but that's out of 1,600 people or 1,500 people.
yeah.
So they just get quarantined in their apartments, and then the
Mhm.
meals are brought to them. But yeah, they're starting to look at it as a manageable, you know, there are a few cases in memory care and a few cases in the nursing wing, but in independent living, there are currently, I think, 11.
Mhm.
And most of them get COVID off campus. They bring it in. No,
Mhm.
but
I would think family members could do it too, you know,
oh
visiting.
yeah, oh yeah. And family members come and take them out to dinner or out to lunch or whatever, and then,
Hmm.
yeah,
Mhm.
Bring the
Yep.
COVID back with them.
yeah, yeah.
Challenge, but
It's gonna
Yep.
remain a challenge. I mean, that's just,
it's just going to be like the flu, right?
yeah.
Just one more thing.
Yeah, we get our flu vaccine starting next month.
Yeah.
Before we leave on
Good.
vacation, which is good, so,
Good.
yeah.
Are they gonna offer a combined shot with the next booster for COVID along with flu?
I don't think so.
Oh,
Karen
heard
might know
some-
more, but I think they're doing just a Omicron booster type thing
Yeah,
this
A
fall.
regular flu.
That's what
I
I
would
read.
imagine
Flu.
somebody's trying to make a combo, but I don't think it'll be available to us this year.
Right.
but I did hear that you can get both that new shot and the flu shot at the same time in the same arm. It doesn't matter. So if you just go
Right.
to place that offers
Yeah,
both,
the
you can get
the
them.
COVID has to be 6 months after your last booster. So,
Mhm. And 90 days after you had COVID.
right.
So
and-
if you're like me, who had
Yeah,
COVID this summer,
yeah,
you want to wait.
Mhm. Mhm.
So,
Are you feeling better, Lynn?
My energy, I wouldn't say is completely back, but it's better than it was last week. So,
Wow,
yeah.
wow.
and it could just be, you know, busy at work and stuff too. And just, you know,
And how's
Did
your
you-
foot behaving?
I went to the Botox doctor on Monday. And they gave me more Botox. They didn't increase the dose, but they did change the location a little bit, to see if that helps based on the results they found, in the last, you know, summer months. So we'll see. It seems to be helping. But within the last month, I've noticed I was starting to decrease the quality if I was walking more on the side. But I'm again walking flatter. They want me to increase. I was doing exercises on the step twice a day. They want me to up it to 4 times a day because they haven't seen the muscle build up enough strength. So they want to make that stronger. So, but yeah, I'll go back in November and they'll see how it's going. So progress. And they
Mhm.
might in November decide to increase the dose a little bit. So we'll see. We'll see what they say in November. But so yeah, if you see me walking in a particular way that's good or bad, let me know. And
Or we see you running up and down the stairs at to the lower level.
or if you're walking around the church, you know,
Right.
in mid morning or mid afternoon, you might find me on the steps
Stairwell,
doing
yeah.
exercises.
Right. Oh, well.
Yeah. But yeah, I need to figure out more alarms, you know, I have to. Anne's been very good about harassing me to go do it. So it's good.
Uh-huh.
All right.
But yeah, baby steps. So
Well, see you Sunday and Thursday, and whatever.
sounds good. Have a good week, guys.
You
Thank
too.
you.
You too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.